Hello and welcome. My name is Mark Möller, and in this video I will release a free lesson from my ChatGPT course, which has just been released and published. In the lesson we will talk about EAT and how you can use ChatGPT to tell Google that you have authority on a specific topic and that you've actually tested or experienced a topic. Before we get started, I wanted to talk about what has sparked me to create this course. I've been active in a lot of Facebook groups and offered for people whose websites have dropped to analyze their sites in order to find out what essentially went wrong with their sites that led to this drop. So you can see these graphs here. This site has gone from around 2,000 visitors per month to then 30, so close to zero and a full drop. And it's only taken a few months for that to happen. So you can see here, it started in July, and then November, the drop has come in. Another site that I analyzed here went up to 18,000 visitors and then also close to zero within a matter of a few months. Then another site had 700,000 visitors and went all the way down to 250,000. So what it came down to for most website owners is that the quality of the content that they have published, even though back then ChatGPT for some of them was not as popular yet, but still the content quality has been low. And the issue that I'm seeing with most YouTube channels talking about ChatGPT and public discussions about ChatGPT is that everybody's interested in how cheaply can I publish articles, and how many articles can I publish in one day, right? There's tons of videos, 50 articles in one day published with ChatGPT, 100 articles, transcribe 1,000 videos into articles and publish them all in one day. So the entirely wrong focus has been put on ChatGPT. And in the course, you will learn how to use ChatGPT to actually drive positive results for your own affiliate websites or for client SEO. We will dive in a second into the course preview, but I wanted to show you some of my own case studies here first. With all the work that I do and my agency Ecom Experts, we focus on ROI. So you can see here the traffic value that this client had has gone up to $40,000 per month. That means you would need to pay Google 40,000 USD to get that much traffic from Google. However, because this is SEO traffic, this is free for the client. And you can see also that 11,000 visitors are coming to the website, and the traffic cost indicates that these are all for commercial keywords. The reason why I'm not sharing the URLs here is because I want to tell you about the money that we've actually been able to generate, the sales for this client, because that's what people really pay for when they pay for SEO. They want more sales. They're not interested in traffic, and they're also not interested in keyword rankings. They want more sales. So this client we've taken from 150,000 Australian dollars per month to 600,000 Australian dollars per month, with some peak month around $700,000. So you can see that we've added millions to their bottom line. And that's what I think more SEO should focus on instead of focusing on the pretty graphs and the traffic. Once we all focus a bit more on generating dollar value and sales, I think SEO will have much happier clients. So another client here, we've generated 10,000 visitors with a traffic cost of 11,000 USD. These are both e-commerce sites. That's why I can say very clearly what the added dollar value was. This client, I believe, started around $100,000 per month in sales. And then once we were done with the SEO optimization, they were at $250,000 per month. Again, added millions per year to this client's online revenue. Here's another site that we've worked on. This is in the health space. You can see it's got a small brand presence. That's what I like here about this SEMrush overview. It tells you directly how strong the brand is. These guys only get 15 brand searches estimated by SEMrush, but the traffic value is huge, $9,000 Australian in traffic value. The traffic values above here were USD. This one is Australian dollars. And then we've got another one with 12,000 Australian dollars in traffic value. Here for these ones, I can't say exactly what the dollar sales were because it's in the health industry. It's not as straightforward as with e-commerce. Cool, but you can see the difference here. These are long-term rankings that we've achieved that are there to stick for the long run. And that is something that I cover in the course, both the mindset as well as the practical steps. So let's jump into the course then. You get the prompts library, which shows you all of the prompts that I've used. You get to know about the article research process, which can be hugely sped up with ChatGPT. You get to know my thoughts about AI detection. And then it comes to article writing, which is a big part of the course, including the article outline generation, which is so important and probably the part where most people go wrong. We're also looking at topical maps, how to generate topical maps based on competitors. Including, so the video that I'm releasing here is the EEAT, Experiential SEO module. And you can watch this one for free on YouTube, which will follow right after this video, by the way. Then we're looking at local SEO. We're creating a moving guide for local SEO. This is something that you could use if you have real estate clients, even in the health industry. There might be people looking to move into the suburb, and therefore a suburb guide can be super helpful. We're looking at medical service pages to create an article outline for those, and then also how to create press releases. You learn how to use ChatGPT for bookmarks to create your own bookmarks, and also how to code your own Chrome extensions. And this course will be constantly updated. So the next module that I'm planning is on Python SEO. So how to create your own Python scripts using ChatGPT in order to speed up your workflows. And included is also an entity extractor and another Chrome extension to check the topical authority. So you also get Chrome extensions with this course. All right, I hope this has sparked your interest, and the people who would be best suited to benefit from this course would be if you are looking to create a lot of content and you want to create standard operating procedures for your team to follow of what makes a good article, and potentially increase your own knowledge on the abilities that Google has in terms of the EAV, entity attribute value model, and how Google looks at recognizing entities and authority figures inside of the articles. All of that is covered there. Cool. Without further ado, I will let you watch the EAT YouTube video now. In this video, we are now talking about experiential EAT, meaning to prove to Google that you have actually touched and experienced a product that you are reviewing for affiliate SEO. So it's important to Google that when you're writing about a product that you've actually had it in your hand. The reasons why for that are obvious. The question now is, how can we use ChatGPT to basically suggest to Google that we actually had it in our hands? And maybe you have actually had a vacuum cleaner in your hand and reviewed it, but you're not quite sure on how Google would check for that or how your competitors are convincing Google. So that's what we're diving in here right now. So we're starting out by feeding ChatGPT and priming the LLM with an article about the EAT update. So this is simply a news article, and you can find that in the prompt library. We're then saying to ChatGPT, hey, just tell me that you got it and reply with OK. Then we follow up with another prompt to say, let's now do a web search and a YouTube search for the best vacuum cleaners 2023. Return the top 3 results to me for both, and then analyze the predicates and relevant entities that indicate that these pages, or people we could also say, have touched the product and experienced it. Put the words into a list delimited by semicolon. So looks like, so continuing here now, we have chosen one article and one YouTube video, both about the Roborock S8. And in the YouTube video, it's clear that these guys actually have
significant game changer in the industry. We tested its mop raising capability on both high pile and low pile.
Built these cool little cages where they test the robot inside, which is pretty awesome. So of course, something like that we should be able to analyze with ChatGPT and get some good insights. Let me show you how that went once we actually were able to crawl the video. So you can always go here into these web pilot or video insight sessions and see what has come back. So that's pretty cool in itself that we're able to get this content right here into ChatGPT for our analysis. And now, based on the analysis here, we have these sentences, 17 in total, that have come back. So things like we put it through a lot of tests over the past couple of weeks, excelled at pickup on both hard floors and carpets, picking up various types and sizes of debris, and in particular here tests. So what you want to focus on is that you are referring to the tests, and you can play with that within the sentence structure to sometimes mention at the beginning of the sentence, in our wet carpet cleaning test, this has happened. And in other cases, you can put that at the end where you say, this vacuum cleaner scored a 3 out of 5 in our, so you're saying we as the website publishing these tests, in our tests about wet carpet cleanup, for example. So there are multiple ways to put it, and I would recommend using consciously both methods, sometimes saying we have tested this and done this, that to it, and then in other cases saying this has scored this, that, and that in our tests. So this can prove that you've actually had it in your hand, and this method gives you a good way of looking at what your competitors are doing and what could contribute to telling Google that you've actually experienced the product. Some of them are not as relevant. I have then gone and actually primed ChatGPT to tell it what predicates are and how they work. I will include that prompt as well. And after that, we got a bit better output. So then it's gone very specific and said, all right, these guys talk about, we have put it through a lot of tests. That's clearly saying we've had it in hand and tested it strenuously. Then it excelled at pickup on both hard floors and carpets. That's kind of indicating, right, that it has done well at something. So you must have had it in your hand and observed that. And then things like the vacuum cleaner is picking up various things in sizes. Again, that's saying that you've kind of observed that. So I would then feed, if I was going to write my own article, you can feed this information of how your competitors have used these words, in particular where it comes to the critical review sections where you're trying to convince the user that you've actually had it in your hand, to write in a similar style to this, to show that you've actually had it in your hand and reviewed it. So essentially you're not copying what they do, you just use their writing style in terms of sentence structure, in terms of the tests that they've done. These guys have done a web mopping test and a dry one. So therefore, if you want to beat their article, you would also need to talk about a web mopping test and a dry one and how they scored and potentially how you set that test up. So I hope that helps to address the experiential side of the EAT update. This is certainly one of the things that I see a lot of people doing wrong, where they're writing a lot of fluff and giving things arbitrary scores without coming to an actual conclusion of why it has these scores and how this was tested. So discussing your testing methodology, that could probably be a separate prompt here to look at, explain to me what the testing methodology was and how I can recreate it. All right, so that's as simple as it is. I've simply asked ChatGPT here, tell me the testing methodologies that the other articles or video have used. And we now have 5 tests that we should discuss in our article. And of course, when you're discussing tests, you're indicating that you've actually had that thing in your hand because you tested it, right? So immediately, just by including these tests, you meet the EAT or EEAT criteria. So that's pretty cool and a good way to actually get it from the horse's mouth, because these videos are ranking in the #1 spot on YouTube for a very competitive term. And the page that we looked at is also ranking in the #1 spot. And these are the exact tests that these guys have done for this vacuum cleaner. Perfect. I hope that helped.